Lunatic Fringe, over the edge. Lunatic Fringe, living full sin. Lunatic Fringe, over the edge. Lunatic Fringe, living full sin. Fabricate, try go of outliers. Wild eyed and free, break like a fire. Extreme on gins, raw conversation. Less is from the edge. Spotlight obsession. Lunatic Fringe, over the edge. Lunatic Fringe, living full sin. Lunatic Fringe, over the edge. Lunatic Fringe, living full sin. Mingle the minds, lessons plain to see. Line drawings on carbon, ain't blessed in memory. But boy voices from the past, whispers from beyond. Drop you crossing over, solidify the bond. Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe, Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Fringe.
NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck your attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst your legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go. All right, once again, I am the fucking pilot back in the can for another edition of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void, and crammed into the can with me are a whole bunch of cool cats with some serious stories to tell. So tell me, who the fuck are you guys and what do you do?
We are the PD Factory team. Actually, we are here, the European division of the PD Factory team. There is a lot of members on that team, but here we are just Europeans, 4 of us. My name is Pablo Hernandez from Spain.
All right.
My name is Vacher from England.
Ciao, I'm Armando Fattoruso from Italy.
Ciao, I'm Mario Fattoruso from Italy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wait. I heard the same last name there, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, as we are brotherhoods, we start to bring brothers in the brotherhood.
The same mother.
Exactly, tech for sure.
Same mother, brothers, and on the PD Factory team.
Correct.
That's pretty cool. We're going to get to that story for sure.
Oh, yeah, man.
So we got a lot of ground to cover, though, before we get to the fact that you guys are on, like, one of the premier swoop teams ever in the history of nylon. Obviously, you guys all started somewhere. So how did the skydiving career start for each and every one of you? I mean, what drew you to jumping out of planes?
So, for me, it was the family. I have a father who is a skydiver. He has been jumping all his life. He's on his 60s now, like 62 years old, and he's still jumping, man. He's still throwing drogues, and all he wants to do is to keep throwing drogues.
That's awesome.
Like, he keeps talking to me, I have this goal now. I have 12,000 tandems and I want to get to 15,000 tandems. I'm like, Father, there is no need to do that. You are good with where you are at.
Right.
So he was my mentor. I was 11 years old. I did a tandem. Then 14 years old, I did my static line course, of course, with him.
Sure.
And then I did an illegal AFF course at the age of 14. I did a static line course, and then straight away he took me for a free fall. He held my side, the arm grip, the leg grip, ready, set, go, and then that's it. Everything started from there.
Wow, so all from family. Was it something you wanted to do? I mean, at 11 years old, there's a lot of cool shit to do. Jumping out of airplanes isn't necessarily one of them. Did he, beat you up and say you're fucking jumping out of a plane? Or
Nah, I was obsessed, man. It's the only thing I wanted to do in life. Jumping from a plane. Obsessed.
Very cool.
From the beginning.
Very cool. Well, that's a nice way to start. And you're actually not the first one that I've had in here that said the same thing. Junior was the same way. Him and his dad started out, and Jarrett Martin has also done with his father. So, all right, next up.
So, my name's Brian, and I started jumping because my mum used to jump. And she was a bit of a crazy lady. She kind of didn't jump till she was 50. I think she jumped for raising money for the church roof somewhere in England. Very English thing to do, but yeah, she started to do that and did 250 jumps, and then decided to be a pilot.
Wow.
And then and so went off to Australia with my father, and they learned to fly, and basically I'm from a family of pilots now. So my brothers fly, both my brothers fly, my mum flies, my dad flies. I'm married to a pilot, flies for BA, and I've done some plane work, but yeah, it wasn't for me.
So as far as that goes, you're kind of the black sheep.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Totally.
Nice.
But I think, everyone in our family has their place, but we have some pretty interesting, boring conversations about aerodynamics and
what's that old joke? If you want to know which person in the room is a pilot, don't worry, they'll tell you.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you said it's a very English thing to jump out of an airplane to earn money, because I just sat down with Regan Tetlow, who said the same thing. He did his first jump to try and buy a CAT scan machine for one of the little village ladies that had something going on. Very strange way to get things going.
Yeah, and I guess it was like, I think she jumped in the 80s. So I think she did a tandem in the 80s. And my first jump actually was a tandem when I was 17, but it was kind of like, big thing. I was into other stuff. And then through the military, got into it when I was like 20 because it was really expensive as well. You know what it's like. It's really expensive. And but I managed to kind of get my training done through the military wraps. And so that put me under a lot of canopy time. And, usual stuff, usual progression through the sport. And then the best thing in the world was to meet Pablo in Leo, skydiving Leo. I went to Spain, some friends, and I went up to Leo to do some stuff. And I met this crazy kid at that time who was Pablo, 17. So we've known each other, since you were 17, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
18 years old.
Yeah, 18 years old.
Long time ago.
And he was flying a Sabre 2 107, turning dirty low,
Oh,
toggling out. For sure, dude.
No. You're the reason I fucking still hate watching landings to this day, because I have flashbacks of the shit that used to scare the hell out of me. All right, so the Italians.
So we more or less have the same background. I mean, we coming from the second generation of skydiver. For us, it was our father is still jumping, not like Pablo Fathers, but more chill. And before the 16, which was the legal age, just to get back. Before that, we did several, let's say, called normal sports.
Sure.
Football, volleyball, swim, whatever. When I turn, I'm the older, I'm Armando, I'm the older, I turn 16, I look at my father and say, hey, this is not the minimum age for the FF course. That I see the chest of my father get big and wide, and oh my god, my son wanna do skydiving, really, for real. So then how we start? So I started to do skydiving in 2001, and Mario followed me as soon he turns 16 as well.
Wow.
And it was cool because this was the first time really that we jumped together as a family during his AFF. My father was the instructor. I was the outside videos.
Wow.
When I was doing the AFF, I could not see the eyes of my father shaking, like for the joy to jump with his son, because I was student man. I was jumping from 14,000 feet high. I have something to do.
Sure. That's really cool.
Yeah, but when with jumps, with experience, and I was following Mario AFF, from outside point of view, I could see my father like getting, oh my god, my second son is gonna jump out from the plane.
Sure.
So, yeah, as Pablo, as Brian, we literally grew up in the skydiving world. I don't have different memories. Spend weekends in a drop zone. I mean, with the other kids playing football, whatever. But it was every single weekend in a drop zone.
Sure. It's it's kind of funny because I did not start out that way. I actually started jumping relatively late in life. I didn't do my first jump until I was 27. But I've met, obviously, over all these years now, many people that grew up in the sport and were drop zone kids. Were you like a lot of the other drop zone kids where you had friends that were much older than you and you never really got treated like a kid because you're hanging around with a bunch of 20-something-year-olds that are using you as packing weights and talking shit and not editing themselves? I mean, was it... you definitely had to have a different childhood that way. I mean, but how cool, right?
Definitely. It was a very... Our childhood was a very big piece of our life because in the weekend, man, we made the best people in the world. Like, there was people hungry, there was people bad, like, in the bad mood. I mean, weekend, Saturday night, barbecue at the drop zone at the end of the day. Yeah, party all night long. Yep. Man, we have so many pictures of us when we was kids. Like, it was every single weekend was a party. So seriously, like the best people in the world are skydivers. I'm sorry to say this.
Well, I'm sure you guys would agree. Pretty much the overriding theme to every podcast that I've done so far is that above and beyond the jumping, it's the community.
Yeah.
Much, even more so than the jumping, because obviously, especially if you're a Brit, you have a lot of weather days.
Yeah.
A lot of times sitting on the ground getting in trouble, you know?
Yeah, although that's changed. That's definitely something I've seen. I started jumping in 93, and I've definitely seen the change where it was total commitment. In England, you go to the drop zone if it was pissing with rain. But now, like with the tunnel, and that changes. Like, people are much more picky about what they do with their weekends.
Well, don't they all go to Florida?
Well, yeah, that's it. Florida, Dubai, anywhere hot.
Sure. Well, now, Pablo, for you, you grew up and started super young. That's really, really young. How was it when you start out that young to really wrap your head around the serious side of the sport? Because at the end of the day, we do a great job of making skydiving as safe as we possibly can, but it's still fucking dangerous. So at that age, when you're starting that young, do you think, looking back, you had a good grasp on the severity of what you were doing?
Man, you know what? I'm a father now. My daughter, who is 4 years old, I'm gonna never let her jump when she will be 14 years old.
Right?
Like,
right?
if I think back, I can write 10 different close calls that I had when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I have been just sit flying and at 3,000 feet, sit flying and seeing a parachute 2 meters away in front of me, 2 meters, going from the bottom all the way up, full speed, for example, and things like this. Unlimited close calls.
Yeah.
At 14, 15, 16 years old, not having a clue, not having not seeing the big picture of
there's
it.
no fear at that age either.
Yeah, no fear at all, man. No fear at all.
It's it's funny because I've got a daughter as well, and she has made a couple of skydives, but doesn't actively want to become a skydiver. She's getting ready to go into law school, which is just fine with me. But the running joke used to be, it wasn't that I was worried about the safety aspect of skydiving. It was that I was worried about the community aspect of skydiving. The joke was, I'll let my daughter jump, just not at a fucking drop zone. Right?
That's a good call.
Oh, yeah. And when she would come to visit me at the drop zones when she was still too young to jump, I made damn sure every swinging dick on the drop zone knew that was my kid, and I am willing to go to prison.
And that you had a big gun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and even when I've lived abroad, it's well known that I know people with guns. So you survived those young years. When do you think you really started to get a grasp on, holy shit, not only what I'm doing is pretty badass, but it's a little sketchy?
I think when I started seeing the first accidents,
Oh.
Yeah. When you start seeing the first accidents in the sport, and you start realizing, this is not just fun, There is a dark side that hopefully you don't get there.
I think, hopefully you're not the one that gets it, but skydiving is probably the only sport I know of where I am happy to learn from other people's mistakes.
Totally, man.
It's the only one.
Better you than I, man.
Yeah. Now, you started out young too, so mom was a jumper, but not crazy active.
Yeah.
So
she kind of got into flying pretty quick after that, actually. But the same, like it took in England. It's the accelerate. It's not like it's somewhere hot. It rains all the time, so it's never accelerated in terms of your progression. It takes a lot longer to get sort of jump numbers in. But I was lucky to shoot a lot of video. That was a good way at that time to get into a lot of canopy flight and be in the air and not have to pay for it, So I did like team video, which gave me a lot of canopy time. And also, it means I didn't have a bill at the end of the week. So that was a good way to get the jumps in. But same thing, you kind of think you're invincible, and then eventually you start to see your experience or get close to or start losing friends and stuff. Yeah. Of course, there's always that dark side, but
sure,
that's what it is.
And you guys, same thing. Starting out so young, again, you're invincible as a kid. I wasn't a skydiver, but you'd put me on a bicycle, and when I was just barely old enough to start driving and get behind the wheel of a car. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Fuck it, let's go, and off to the races. So you guys jumping out of airplanes, same thing, did you get yourself some close calls?
Honestly, I would say so far, and touching wood, no. Why? Because when we were kids and we grew up, every single things we could climb and jump out to simulate the landing, we did it.
Oh,
yeah. Like we have I remember I have memories in our house. We climb over a library and we aim for a small pillow like that, simulating the competition for a classic accuracy. And I have another memory. Our father was a mentor. He was still, and he gave our example of a low turn. I remember the childhood. When you're kids, you get back from school at home, and you see your mom preparing your meal middle day. And I remember at one point it was Monday, and I saw my father at home rather than my mother. I say, "What? Why are you here like this?" I know, because yesterday Sunday I landed hard on the ground, so he did a low turn. He fully smashed his bottom. Oh! And I remember for the whole week he was lay down on the couch, looking down, so ass up. Yep. And that's what for me was first lesson. Never turn low.
Yeah. I actually broke my tailbone quite a few years back, and I still feel it from time to time.
You see?
It's depending on the activity, of course. Yeah. So the big theme for all four of you guys is you started young, and at least initially there wasn't any fear in the sport because you were all pretty accustomed to it, which is very different from my story because quite literally for the first few hundred jumps, I was scared shitless of skydiving. Why I kept doing it, I still don't know. I don't know what little worm in my mind made me keep going. I actually had a place on the freeway where I could turn around. If I got to this place and decided, nope, I can't jump, I could turn around and I could hold my head up high and not be a pussy. But if I drove past that, I had to go to the drop zone and jump. And I would, every time I'm in the plane going, why the fuck am I doing this? I've survived it. Why am I getting back in the plane? Then, of course, you leave the plane, you have a great day at jumping, and you remember. But that memory is very short-lived because as soon as the sun comes up the next day, you're right back to going, what the fuck? So you guys didn't have that. How cool. Or did you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about others, but I think it's people are just bullshitting if they say that their first 200 jumps they're like yeah it was easy, because everybody's nervous, everyone's like that. And I think for sure if you're older and you're starting there, respect to my mum and people like you that older you tend to be wiser, right? And you're not going to make that call, and younger you're still doing it. I mean, for sure, I know that at least I was shitting bricks for like a long time, and I think that's also one of the reasons why everybody in this room is still here. You know what I mean? We have a healthy respect for it. We know that we inside we're scared, and that maybe we need to take care.
Sure. Well, and especially with the progression that you guys have taken, and obviously we're heading that direction in what you guys do now. As you got further along in the sport and do what you do now, the risk level is going through the roof. I mean, statistically speaking, your venue in skydiving is the most dangerous. So you have to have that head screwed on straight. And I'm guessing the years, especially since you guys started so young and had close calls when you were so young, had to have prepared you for dealing with, having to calm yourself down and back it down a little bit. If you had those close calls when you're 14 years old, Pablo, I mean, holy shit, that's got to do something.
Yes, man. Yeah, for sure. Yes. You know what? When I was a kid, but it happened to me too. When I was a kid, 14 years old, going to the drop zone in the morning, on the weekends, even at that time, if the weather was bad on the way to the drop zone, if the weather was bad, I was happy internally. I'm like, okay, I'm not jumping today, man. Great. I'm going to just go and play Diabolo and play with the ball and just enjoy my day at the drop zone. I'm not jumping. Oof. It's not going to be a stressful day. And even nowadays, with my experience that a lot of jumps, now I think I get more nervous and stressed, and I think things twice before doing what we do.
Cool. So it's not just me, because there's days that I'm sitting on the ground at the drop zone going, I'm loving being able to say I'm a skydiver, not showing that I'm one.
Yeah. I think that's the trait of what we do in our discipline is, and I say this quite a lot to people, like it looks crazy and got great sort of close calls and stuff like that. But I think most of us in this room are kind of the same type of person. We actually think a lot about what we're doing, and I say this a lot, but canopy pilots tend to be really anal. We want to know data. We want to know that this is going to happen, and this distance is going to work, and this altitude is going to work, and this space is going to work. Because I think that's why the discipline attracts certainly me. It's controlling all of these things, but with this added pressure that if you make a mistake, the ground is there. Whereas if you go wild in free fall, doing whatever you want to do and trying whatever you do, you still have this safety margin.
Sure.
And so it tends to focus people. And I think that where people have been successful with our team is where we've got that type of person.
Sure. Well, I mean, the days of fucking toggle whipping a stiletto over the pea pits are long gone, you know? I mean, I remember, as I'm sure you guys do, when the running joke was you had to prove you had 500 jumps before you could buy a stiletto, you know, because it was that hardcore. And, of course, anybody and everybody had one, and people were frapping in left, right, and center because they hadn't figured it out. And there wasn't that thought into it because it was just starting to come along, and then holy shit, the velocity comes along, which was an even more of a game changer than the stiletto, and statistics did not favor those that weren't smart. It was just that simple. Well, let's back up a little bit, and each one of you, obviously, you got going pretty good in skydiving. I'm assuming everybody started working in skydiving to just pay for the habit, so to speak. That's what I did. Pablo?
Yeah, man, the classic story, you know, packing since 14, you know, at the age of 12, 13, 14 years old, packing, making money to be able to pay for the jumps.
Sure.
And then as soon as I had 200 jumps, then buy a camera, put it on a helmet, and go film tandems, you know.
Tandem.
15 years old guy filming tandems. Why not?
Jesus Christ. I can only imagine if I was a customer walking up and a 15-year-old Pablo Hernandez walks up and sticks a camera in my face, I'd be like, where the fuck is the adult that's supposed to go along with this kid to do this jump? 15? Holy shit. Because I look at pictures of myself when I was 27 and I look like a fucking moron.
Yeah, but it gets worse when you are 18 years old. Like first day when I made my 18 years old birthday, and then went to get my rating, you know, for tandem and AFF. Like first day, as soon as I got 18 years old, tandem rating, AFF rating, to try to make more money doing it, right?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, seriously. I mean, and I can only speak as thinking as an outsider. My first thought would be grow hair on your balls before I'm going to attach myself to you. That would be the first thing I'd be thinking. Everybody's the same. Everybody was video packing all that stuff.
No, my story was a little bit different. I was chasing the money. I worked in London, worked in banks. And, yeah, the whole 9 yards. And it was kind of like after university, went into chasing the money and the salary. And then the reason why I was chasing the money and the salary was to be able to jump, you know. And it got to the point, I was telling Pablo this the other day actually, but where I got promoted, and I went into this office that I'd been given in a beautiful summer's day, one of the rare summer's day you have in England, you know, where it's hot outside, and it was a new job, and I walked in, and it was similar to this room actually, maybe a little bit bigger, and maybe without the toilet, but
right.
it was an office without any windows, and I sat down. I remember getting there early, first day, first impressions, dropped my stuff, and I walked back out to the car park, and I phoned my dad actually and went, Dad, I can't do this. This is not me. You know? And then a month later, I was with Pablo in Leo. So,
see, that's epic though. That's the kind of story you want to hear, because it's funny. What's the Pink Floyd lyric about the Brits living in silent
another brick in a wall.
Yeah, silent despair or something along those lines. And every Brit that I've ever met or worked with had a similar aim in their life and decided, fuck this, and pulled away from it. So it's a very non-British thing to do, which is fucking amazing.
Cut away, bro.
Damn right. Damn right.
What have you got in the suitcase? My life. Yeah, that's
right.
it,
Right.
Sure.
How cool though. I mean, especially being able to have that kind of a seminal moment. I just was a fuck off my entire life. So I'm like a lot of skydivers. I, no pun intended, fell into it and went, oh wait, I don't have to grow up. I can actually make a few bucks and keep doing this. And by make a few bucks, I mean I get to eat and they won't throw me out of my apartment. You know, so, which was good. Well, now you guys the same thing though. So it was, you know, dad jumping, and then you guys started working right away. Yeah.
Not really.
No?
Actually, no. We didn't been really professional skydivers since we were young. I mean, more or less like Pablo. Like as soon as I turned 18, I got my AFF rating. 19, the tandem rating, and I have to say, our father never pushed on that way. So I studied. Mario started to have work when he was young, so looking like normal person, and in the weekend and try raise money to support the skydiving. But then at one point, more or less like Brian's story. So after graduated, do a job without not connected to what I study, and I was in a room, and seriously, at one point, I get.
They are architects, man. Those two guys,
yeah.
they are architects.
Yeah?
Yes.
But
Awesome.
not only architects for very special buildings.
Yes.
Exactly.
Really?
Both of them.
I love hearing
Rome.
stories like this because it's I don't know about how you guys feel, but it's very reaffirming to somebody like me when I find out that people that were on the path that is supposed to be what you're supposed to do in this modern fucked up world, that's the line you're supposed to follow. I love finding out when someone had that and went, ugh, no, fuck this, and took a left turn.
Or even better, they managed to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Mario
Yeah,
Mario
Mario's
keeps
doing
doing it.
That's
He-
awesome.
Yeah, from Monday to Friday, I have a normal job, and the weekend we did.
You must be
skydiving.
an astounding canopy pilot then.
Yes.
Look at him, look at him.
He won't say it, but we will.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be because it's a discipline that requires a fuckload of training. I mean, this is not something you just hop into. I mean, I got 11,000 jumps in 24 years in the sport, and there's nobody that's going to come out to watch me swoop. It's not gonna, and it never will be, and I'm fine with that.
Nobody's gonna watch a strip, neither. Striptease,
That's true.
right?
That's true. Yeah, but I'm retired now. Nobody's gonna watch me anymore. You guys were architects. You had a real job. You were raised in it. I was a Vegas stripper.
That's the best story, right?
I took my pants off to be able to afford to have you guys in this bathroom. So architects, wow.
Yeah.
So your family must be thrilled because you're doing everything. Dad must be thrilled. Mom must be thrilled. You're holding down the normal job and all of this, but you're still doing everything Dad loves as well.
Yeah, correct. So literally, at one point we turned, we need to follow our dream. Like Brian said before, closing a box without windows, just the computer in front of you. Timing, 8 a.m. in the morning, 5 p.m. in the afternoon, 5 days per week. No, man.
It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
It really doesn't. I mean, it's not even working for the weekend anymore. You're literally working for a retirement that may or may not come.
Correct. No, man. At one point, I stopped myself. I say, I really want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So if I really ask to myself, okay, in 5 years, 10 years, 15, do you really want to be seated inside the same room,
Sure.
in front of the same computer for this time? No, man.
Well, and you know one of the coolest things about skydiving, and especially because we've got basically two a newer generation of PD swoop and an established generation of PD swoop sitting in the same room, and I've been in the sport for quite a while as well. This sport really doesn't have a shelf life. Lou Sanborn, licensed D1, still fucking jumps. He's like the Rolling Stones. He just doesn't quit.
Who's the dude I saw with 45,000 jumps? There's an American dude that's just hit 45,000.
You know, I'm not sure.
Ron
Yeah.
Kellner.
It could be.
Don or
Kellner?
Ron, yeah, something
Don
like
Kellner?
Don, I think. Don Kellner.
I mean, it's astounding.
It's incredible.
Absolutely astounding. You've got, and this is the only sport that I know of anyway, where you've got the realistic option to not only meet your heroes, but go participate in the same sport they became that hero in. How fucking cool is that? It really is amazing. And so it goes to show that age really is not a limitation in skydiving. As long as you take care of yourself and as long as you don't make any bad decisions or have those, you know, the unfortunate accidents, skydiving is something you can do forever. You know, so if you can either manage to make a living in it or have it as your passion to keep you from going nuts while you're spending a little time in that box, how amazing is that? That's fantastic. I mean, so, all right, so let's get into how you guys ended up. Let's start with the old dogs first. PD, you know, you had to get good before you got to PD. I don't know about anybody else, but PD's pretty much the only canopies I know other than tandem canopies. I've jumped Icarus tandem canopies. They're fantastic, but I don't have any experience with anything other than PD nylon, and I fucking love it. So how did you guys end up aiming that direction? How did you end up on that team? Why? You know, I mean, how did it come about?
Good, man. So Brian and I, we are the second generation.
Yeah,
Second generation of the PD Factory team. The original gangsters. They started in 2002, 2003, I believe so.
I mean, they had a couple of team member changes as well. But yeah.
Sure.
Yes, and then Brian and I we joined it in 2009.
Okay.
And Brian is the reason why I have been souping, for my entire youth. I was in Ligo at Skydive Ligo, a drop zone in Spain. I was 17 years old, and then this guy, a British guy, was coming to the drop zone to do a course, a canopy course. And I thought, I'm gonna attend the course just to show him how cool I am. I want to show this guy how good I am, man. I didn't want to learn shit.
Right.
I was an arrogant and full of ego. And this guy came to the drop zone, British guy called Brian. He started teaching the course, and then I didn't have any clue. I was just hooking it low, toggles to the knees, legs up, shoo, surviving on every single jump. And then as soon as I landed, first thing I did every jump was run back to him, and then, how good was that? That was amazing, right? Did you like it? And then Brian, with his hands on his head, oh my God, this kid.
270 left.
This kid is gonna die, And then he's the first person that I saw swooping the whole pond in Spain. We had a pond there, and nobody was swooping that thing. Nobody was swooping it. So he came, he swooped the whole thing from south to north, and then I wanted to do that.
Sure.
I wanted to do that. I was jumping on a small drop zone in the middle of nowhere, in the center of Spain, away from any city, and I didn't have that touch with the pros, And Brian back then, 2005, he was already a pro, and I wanted to learn from him, And I remember this was summer of 2004, summer 2004, and then Brian was sharing all the stories with us on the bonfire. We would go with him for dinner. And one of his stories was, in February, so 6 months ahead, in February, I'm going to go and attend the World Cup of canopy piloting. And I told him, I'm doing it too.
That was the first one as well.
Yeah, I'm doing it too, Brian. I'm going with you,
no,
man.
The second one, 2005.
I'm going with you. I want to do it too. And then Brian was like, but you have a Sabre 107 full of holes. That thing doesn't fly, man. You are not ready. I'm going with you, man. What do I need? Do I need a cross brace? Yes. And then I bought an Icarus VX 89, super old, destroyed. Cheap, man. 600 euros, Boom, got it. I got it, and this is September, this is October, and then started training with it. Dangerous shit. Really dangerous shit. But I survived that training, and then I went in February with him.
You kick butt, dude.
I went with him to the World Cup, and I didn't know the rules, I knew the rules for distance and speed. Distance and speed, because that was easy, right? Distance go far, speed go fast. But then accuracy, there is a lot of different gates, markers, different zones. There is a box, positive points, negative points. I never trained that before. So I got there to Lake Wales, and he had the time to mentor me and help me and give me some directions and explain the rules to me a little bit. And it went well, man. I attended the intermediate category, Intermediate World Cup, which nowadays it doesn't exist anymore because, it's like it's a plan B competition, right? But for me back in the day, it was so good, and it was such a good opportunity because I won it in 2005, February 2005. I won it, and then I got sponsorship. Like I used it as a leverage to my drop zone to Skydive Ligo to get free jumps.
Oh, that's fucking awesome on a number of levels. A, that you survived it all. B, that you were able to soak up the lessons and succeed in it and continue to go. And C, and most importantly, that for me, in my mind, Pablo Hernandez was that fucking guy. I love it. You were that guy. You're the guy that everybody's going, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, no. And to turn it all around and become Pablo Hernandez, that guy, wow. From toggle whipper to world champ. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's underselling it. At the same time, they were also saying, wow, that's natural talent right there. So he's totally selling it. And it's blind leading the blind as well at that time. It was new. The first World Cup was 2003. That was the second one, and we were learning for sure.
So that was your first competition as well?
Mine was the 2003 World Cup in Paris. That was my first ever kind of international competition, and you had to run it was actually more scary qualifying for the competition rather than running the competition because you had six jumps and you had to run three clean runs through in those days it was like 180 foot course, 10 foot markers. Nowadays it's easy. But in those days, we have to do this 3 times, and you had 6 attempts, and some people didn't do it in 6. Didn't get the 3 and the 6 jumps. and they couldn't even compete. So people risk traveling to the US and trying to compete in this competition and not even passing qualifiers. You know. So.
Wow. So if you were competing back in those days, did you do some of the PST tour?
No. Well, I mean, yes, in a kind of a remote way, but I certainly wasn't any of the pioneers in that sort of thing. I came late to the party in terms of the PD factory team as we know it, or the early generation of the old guys, not just the old guys, were kind of establishing themselves at that time. And that's where I was, you know, looking and reading a lot and then kind of just talking bullshit to Pablo, hoping he wouldn't die. You know?
It's a good hope. Well, it's kind of funny because in 2004 was my first season in Cross Keys, which is when the PST tour was still going pretty good, and they had it in Wildwood on the beach in New Jersey, and so everybody would come to Skydive Cross Keys to train prior to the competition on the beach, and so I got to watch the OGs swooping the Cross Keys Pond and just doing shit that wasn't, you know, I mean, Heath Richardson, holy shit, you know, I mean, I'm watching, and this, I worked with Heath every day, you know, and you're watching him do shit that's just not fucking, that's not possible. And wait, now there's two of them at the same time doing it? No, they can't do that. Somebody's going to die. And they just keep doing it amazing and flawless. And that was kind of the start of the not only for me anyway, the awe of amazing canopy piloting, but also what kept me at a distance from it, because I took one look at that and went, no, I'll be a stain if I try some of the shit they're doing. So it was great in a number of ways. I got to be a fan, and it got to keep me from doing anything particularly stupid. And I see before we continue, I see we've all got empty glasses, which is not allowed. So we're going to pause for just a moment to refill our beverages.
Can we do that?
You're damn right we can.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
This is the fucking Pilots Podcast.
See you
God damn
soon.
right we can. All right, pause. All right, as we're getting back in here, before we get too settled, everybody glasses up. Yeah. Cheers. Cheers. All right.
There we go.
Salute. Here we go.
Salute.
All right. All over the place.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
There
There we go.
No
All right.
alcohol, right?
All right. Yes.
Look at there, guys.
Oh, yeah, picture time. Awesome. All right. So, the Italians. I'm just going to keep calling you the Italians. It's easier.
Yeah, easy.
So, how did you decide that the canopy thing was something you wanted to do? I mean, obviously you were in the sport for a while, but swooping is a whole different beast. So how did you work your way towards that?
Well, we got in the sport in the right at the right time when the velocity start to get out. So when the canopy was get projected from zero. They start to make the first prototype, like change the shape of the canopy, make the line set longer. So we were in the good time to catch the waves.
Right.
But as our drop zone was like South Italy, so no many Americans, English mother tongue come here. So we were just study first VHS, like the old format video, then DVD. Then the first time when some American, let's go Sky God was coming in Italy from some boogie. Yeah, Mario, we need to go there. This guy knows things. But of course, as we were kids, our English wasn't that good. So we need every time a translator, or as Italians, we are good on body language.
Sure. Yeah.
But you remember in 96, coming in South Italy, in our home drop zone, the staff on D-Land, Skydive D-Land, there, and make Rick Powell with, I remember because I was 10 years old.
He speaks English now, man.
Yes, Rome.
Holy shit.
Rome.
Good.
Rome and cola.
Yeah.
Rum and Coke. That's
really
it.
good.
That's
And
it.
I remember when I was 10 years old, and I see these guys, I don't know, Rick Powell, with the Stilo 97. He get a 360 faster, and we landing go. Wow! And I remember because I playing with the football or bicycle, and when he landing, I stop it and I go out for see this faster landing.
Sure.
And for me is wow.
Richter Powell, man, he's the father of souping. Like all of us, we have been inspired by him. All of us we have seen the crosswind video and the anti-gravity video.
Sure.
Him souping into the hangar, him souping the velo between the bushes. Like he has been the inspiration to all of us.
So, especially for everybody in here that's got family that skydives, what do they think of the canopy piloting discipline? Because it's a little bit different for non-skydivers. They lump it all into one category. You jump out of an airplane, you open a parachute, you land. But skydivers understand what canopy piloting is. Skydivers understand what swooping is. So how does mom and dad and how does dad feel about what is clearly the razor's edge in the sport?
For me, my father, he tried. He was always recommending me, Pablo, why you don't free fly? Free fly is your thing, man. Just free fly. Free fly is awesome. You can be one of those guys. Just go free fly.
Stay on that Sabre 2150.
Papa, I want to soup, man. I want to soup. And then it hasn't been a clean path, There has been injuries. Like I broke both legs, one in 2009, the other one in 2011. There was injuries through the journey, but it's all worth it, man.
Sure. Well, I mean, canopy piloting is I always liken it to riding a motorcycle. It's not if you crash, it's when and how bad. And I mean, even if it's just a few scrapes and scuffs or just a scare, anybody that's spent any time on a high performance canopy has puckered themselves up.
When you learn a new sport, you do mistakes.
Sure.
You're gonna do mistakes.
Sure.
If you ski, you fall. If you want to learn how to soup, you're gonna hit.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a hit. There's gonna be a hit.
Brian, how about you?
I mean, my parents they didn't really have a major problem with it. They came to competitions and stuff, and I think they also nowadays with the development of Flight One, that's the business side of our team, and in terms of what we've learned as in terms of the sports side, and then taking it back into a business to be able to teach canopy skills on a different level. I think it goes back to this. There is that definite side of canopy piloting where everyone sees, everything's aggressive, everything's close to the ground, everything looks like it could be dangerous. But then the other side that canopy piloting has opened up for us over the years is an incredible knowledge about how to work together in the sky, how to transfer those skills into moving from one position to another, how to be accurate, how to increase our skill level beyond anything, and so much so that obviously with Flight One we then pull it back into the military environment as well. So I think there's both sides.
Well, and Flight One has done so much to further safety under canopy. I mean, it should. I hate to say require. It shouldn't be a requirement. It should be a recommendation for everyone to go at least through some type of canopy course. Of course, back in the day, I didn't have a canopy course. It was trial by fire, as was everything else in skydiving at the time. But we're finally at a point where we have the ability and the knowledge to really pass it on to people well before they can get themselves, in that corner, which is really nice.
Yeah, for sure. And we're not trying to sit here and plug Flight One. We're trying to explain that it's a discipline that's been neglected, over the years. And what's happened is that, I guess, and Pablo and I grew up in that as well. We were those guys that were trying different things, and nowadays we've learned so much and a different approach. I remember Pablo talking about flight planning early on in the team when we were doing team flying, the stuff that we did back in Dubai and stuff. When we go team flying, and the first time Pablo led, we were talking to him about his flight plan and asking him about what his flight plan. I remember Pablo going, "Flight plan? What is a flight plan?" And so it was awesome. I mean, he's such a natural pilot. He used to just lead us. We go, "Okay, Pablo, we're going to land there," and he would just lead us there. And we just keep turning until we land there. And that even I hate to say it, but even the old man here, he's learned how to do it. It's incredible. And so we don't need to do that. We don't need to nowadays in the sport be that person that has to go through a process on their own and learning by trying and doing. There is structure, there's information, there's a way to become a better pilot without the danger. And not totally, but So.
Well, without a doubt. And well, again, I came up in a generation that lacked most of that. And I had the double shot of being a tunnel rat back when there were only 3 tunnels. I used to work in the Las Vegas tunnel. Yeah. And there was Fort Bragg, there was Las Vegas, and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So when I started jumping, I already knew how to fly in free fall. But I knew jack shit about flying under canopy. And I was shooting video and flying a PD-190, an F-111 PD-190, shooting tandem videos, terrified of my parachute having to spiral from opening to landing just to beat the tandem to the ground to get the video, but terrified to downsize because there was nobody to teach, nobody to mentor. You know, I mean, you're thrown into it just trying to get the bills paid, and it's a horrible way to learn. You know, it really, really is. And I was, it's the safety side of it for me was definitely keeping it slower on the canopy side and really transitioning very slow on smaller parachutes. And it's one of the many reasons I got nicknamed Princess fucking 24 years ago. I took my time going to smaller parachutes and it did me a lot of service. But nowadays, that super slow progression isn't necessary because they can learn properly and transition when they should. Yeah, for sure. So you guys.
Yeah, more or less, just to confirm the point of Brian, like, I literally think we just survived. I mean, as I told you before, we couldn't have that clear information. We were always missing pieces. Yes, the video show you the cool part, the cool stuff, but doesn't give you the real altitude, the turns, how to make it. So we literally survived until the first canopy course that we did. And it's incredible the gap that I could see right now. So looking back in the day, there was the desert, or just few peoples around the world know and try to transmit the information. And how is easy now to be in contact with Brian, with another canopy pilot, or a very knowledge or skillful instructor that can guide you for the downside or something like that. I remember I passed from stiletto to the velocity, like more or less as you said, like I need to go faster because the tandem is landing too close to me, so I don't have time to chill on the ground before finish the video or something like this. But it was incredible. Like I flew the canopies without know it, which matter about luck, matter about skillful. But again, now that you have those people that try, that study, they make it the plan for you. And you have just to heads up, listen, and stick on the plan.
Well, that's one of the amazing things about Flight 1, or any proper canopy course taught by a knowledgeable canopy pilot. I think it's absolutely fucking invaluable. I really, and again, I hate to use the word require. It should be recommended to, and I think it is almost universally recommended now to everybody as they're coming up in skydiving. Hey, take a canopy course as a beginner. Hey, take a canopy course as an intermediate. Hey, take a canopy course as an advanced skydiver. I've got 11,000 jumps. I could use a canopy course. Absolutely. We all could.
It will not hurt.
No, fuck no. No, at the end of the day, it's either going to reaffirm that I'm doing things right, or it's going to show me where I'm making mistakes that might one day bite me in the ass.
And you started early as well, huh? And that's something else you probably noticed, like the definition of high performance. We with the sort of military clients that we jump with, they're jumping massive canopies, so they think a 190, a 210 is an incredibly fast machine. You know, and I remember my logbook. I've still got my logbook from jump number. I think it was 21. I'm pretty sure it was 21. And I went to this drop zone, and the only canopy they had available was a 210. And all I had written in my logbook, you know, in those days, you used to write stuff, right? Not like on your mobile.
Whoa!
Spillage.
First man down, but not on the board.
Nice.
And yeah, all I'd written in my logbook for that jump was "fuck me, this canopy is fast," like underlined, you know, because to me in those days, like a 210 was fast.
Sure.
And it was a high performance canopy. And if you talk to some of the guys that we work with who jump 360s all day long and they've never been on a 240 or a 260 or a 210, they think these things fly in. And if you put a Sabre 2, you know, you put somebody underneath a Sabre 2 190, 210, they're coming in 30 plus miles an hour, you know, airspeed. So they're like screaming in and they have no reference. So these guys really, for us, put it into perspective that when we go back into the civilian world, the sport world, and these guys are jumping these tiny canopies, especially with the fly sight data that we're getting, it's incredible to see the true airspeeds that we're moving.
Oh, I mean, it's insane. I mean, if you had told me when I started jumping that I would eventually comfortably jump a sub 100 square foot canopy, I would have laughed in your face. And there's still days when as a matter of fact, I went out and did jumps with a bunch of the pilots that I work with just the other day, and you land the direction the arrow's pointing at the drop zone I jump at, and it turned out to be a downwinder. And on a 96 square foot velocity, a downwinder's a pretty fucking. It's an adrenaline filled experience. And it's been a long time since I've been downwind at that speed, and halfway through it, I'm thinking, "Fuck me, I don't know, I'm a little old for this."
You as a pilot knows, right? It's just airspeed, right?
Yeah.
It's the same speed. You're coming in the same speed. It just looks different.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Matrix, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, but unfortunately, I as a pilot also know that eventually, no matter how far fast forward I'm moving, that wing's gonna stop flying, and then I'm just on the ground still hauling ass.
All you need is your roller skates, right? You can put your roller
Right.
skates on, you're good.
Thank God for vans and grass. That's what I'm saying. So you're all on the PD factory team. You've all taken different paths, but ended up in the same place. But you've got second generation and now third generation fourth generation PD factory team. Fuck me, holy shit!
Yeah.
Has this been going on that long?
Man,
We're old.
That's the beauty of the PD Factory team. The beauty of the PD Factory team is that it's about the team, It's about keeping it alive through the decades, through the generations, and it's all about the brand and it's all about the name, and we have to keep it alive. It's our.
I'm a PD pimp. I'm all about PD. I absolutely love the
I bet
canopies.
he says that to everybody.
Right.
It's like Icarus guys say, "Oh man, I'm all Icarus."
And I don't have a lot of reference on other canopies, but honestly, from literally every canopy that I've flown on a regular basis has been a PD. So fuck me, man. I am all about that brand.
Yeah, for us, it's about keeping it alive. Like how many teams in the skydiving community they have been fighting and they have been charging hard for almost 2 decades. How many of them are still alive?
No,
after 2
not
decades,
very many. I mean, I can think of
Airspeed,
only
man.
a couple, like Arizona Airspeed, teams like that. That's
not
it.
many. Babylon, Babylon. I always think about Babylon, Airspeed,
Yeah.
PD Factory team.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if there is any team
Correct.
out there that has been 18 years old out there like us,
Yeah.
then
Well, and
please raise your hand.
It's not just still being around; it's still being around and being highly respected.
I hope so. I hope so. For us, it's about always passing the tools to the next generation, train them, give them what they need to keep charging hard.
Sure.
So now Mario and Armando, they are here. They are learning all those new skills from us. On how to fly together as a team, doing team flying. But then in a few years from now on, Brian and we're going to be doing something else.
I don't know.
Something else. And
Well-
then Mario and Armando, they are going to be the ones leading the team, and that's the future.
Sure,
they
sure.
will lead the team, and they will make the decisions.
Well, it's having seen all the different aspects and all the different members of PD. PD team has always been portrayed and has this perfect image of professionalism, which is a very big thing. Even back in the day when it was Ian Bobo and OG stuff, it was uniforms, people, and this is back in the dirtbag skydiving days when the dirtier your rig, the nastier your jumpsuit, the better skydiver you must be. And here comes PD Factory team is just sparkling. Jerseys and perfect rigs and very professional. So what I want to know is how weird do you guys get behind the scenes? Because I only see the in front of the scenes. Are you just a bunch of fucking crazy skydivers that
we're boring behind the
do
scenes.
you sober do you sober up for the pictures, or are you just fucking pros all the time? Tell me you have to wake up ragged sometimes. Come on.
No, for sure, man. We are humans, and we are just very passionate about what we do.
Sure,
we are
sure.
super passionate about the flying, the training, the competition, the jumping, and time goes by, right? So for me, for example, right now, competition is not what really inspires me anymore. I'm not inspired about the medals.
Sure.
I have them already, right?
Sure.
They are there enough. So I'm inspired about passing on to the next generation.
Sure.
That's what really inspires me.
Actually, that brings it up for the older guys. Let's hear them. Accolades. What are the medals hanging on the walls?
For who?
For both you guys.
For me, 26 FAI medals, 3 times European champion.
26. Fuck you.
Yeah, 26.
26?
26 FAI medals. So FAI medals means World Cups, World Championships, World Games, World Games.
26.
European Championships.
This is awesome. Oh,
26.
Keep going.
Yeah, 26. Two world records,
What are they?
4 European records, 3 times European champion.
Wait, slow down. What are the world records?
1 in distance, 1 in speed.
All right.
You know, 1 in
You
distance, 1
say
in
like
speed.
it's nothing. One in distance, one in speed.
So at some point in my life, I was the guy who flew the furthest and the fastest. I'm not anymore because nowadays there is
of course
people that go faster and further. You
Of
know,
course.
so but it's there. You
It's
know,
pretty
it's there.
badass.
It's there. So it's a good story. You know, it's a good history. It's there for me. It's the past.
You just you took a medal recently, didn't you?
Man, this is a great story, man. Yes. So all my life dreaming with a world championship title.
Yeah.
All my life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the king of second place. King. Like all those 26 FAI medals, they sound like, whoa, this guy is a champion, you know. But man, 26 silver and bronze.
Yeah, no, but still.
You know, fighting for it all my life. Fighting for it. Never got it. I got a gold in speed. I got a gold on intermediate World Cup, which doesn't count. Always fighting for it.
Bullshit, it doesn't count.
Yeah, no.
So all those intermediate guys out there, it counts.
It doesn't. So always fighting for it. Never got it. And then the day, and then I decided to quit. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Finish. This doesn't inspire me anymore. And then, but there was this soup freestyle tour going on, you know. There was this soup freestyle tour going on, and I wanted to be part of it because that inspires me. It inspires me again because you can do souping in front of the crowd, you can do it in front of the public, in front of the cities, and it's fun, you know. It's really fun. So it was an FAI World Championships.
Yeah,
FAI World Championships,
and you ended up standing on the top.
And I won it. You know, the year I decided to quit, I did 10 training jumps for it, 10, and then I won it. You know?
I know. Well, the reason that I brought that particular medal up and the reason that I think it's funny is because it was a few months before that you had, in passing, told me, yeah, I'm done with the competition stuff. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then the next thing I know, I'm pulling up fucking Facebook and you're standing on the top of the podium and I'm like, look at this motherfucker. He just told me he quit.
Yeah. And please, there is a lot of luck involved, you know? There is a lot of luck involved, and it's not, the whole thing is not skill. I was lucky and happy, man.
I highly appreciate the fact that you use that word because I know that there's people in skydiving that think the word luck is an insult. But anybody that denies that there's a bit of luck involved in our sport is a fool, and it's eventually going to bite them in the ass. I've got everyone in this room and everybody that's put a parachute on their back for any length of time has gotten lucky in one way or another. So I'm glad that you said that. I really am. Now, Brian.
So, my story is not so glamorous. No, like I'm like, let's look at the look at the small country called England. You know, there's millions of skydivers there, so it's very, very tough competition. No, I'm like 7 times national champion. That's about as good as it gets. And on the world stage, my best overall finish was like 6th. And I've been competing every year or so, every competition till like from 2003 to 2015 in a world level. And I love it, but you know, some people are natural, some people aren't so natural. And I've been in positions where I've been in 2nd place with 1 round to go, and I've thrown it. So competition is a real mental thing, you know. And I've always recognized from myself that one of my faults is that I get into this position of power in terms of the meet, and then I make a mistake. And in competition, swimming competition, if you use 0, then you're down. Yeah, you're done. And also, my interest really, competition was never, for me, like the reason why I did it. There are many other reasons. It was competition almost was, for me, with the team, an obligation to do competition. And what I loved about it was developing how we could pass the knowledge on. So I focused my attention from a very early stage, like 03, you know, was writing our programs, and developing our programs, and which are now multilingual as well, across about 8 or 9 languages now. Wow. So my real passion was kind of like developing the Flight 1 side of things, the way we taught. And I can't say that I sat there in a room and thought of these things of myself. I took information from everywhere that I could, and out there, if you want to know about canopy flying and people's opinion about canopy flying, there's a lot of information there. Like way back when, like the guys into land, the Rusty is it? I can't remember, the guy with the red hair. The dude that was like, there was Sky U books being written. There's videos, VHS videos and stuff. There's people's opinion about how patterns should be flown. And what I kind of enjoyed doing over my career was getting all this information together and then thinking about an alternative way. And one of the alternative way that we teach, one of the things we love as a company and with the factory team doing what we do is team flying, and allows us to see there are different ways to do things. And one of the things that I think the sport is restricted by is that we do it because we did it 20 years ago. And it comes from aircraft as well, because obviously aircraft came before parachuting. So the rules of the air came from aircraft, and in fact, that's a powered flight. And as you know, and like gliding, we're gliders. So actually the rules of the air don't necessarily work for us as parachuters. And so we enjoy challenging the way that people teach, the way that the first jump course is taught, and the way that, things like flight planning is taught. And so I came on the team and I was competing and training hard and trying to do, get on the podium on a world stage. But at the same time, my real passion was developing how we would pass the information on.
Which is, go ahead.
It's funny how, now we have the new generation here, Mario and Armando. And then when we do, for example, we recently did a team flying camp in Dubai. Team flying camp basically means when we get together and we fly our parachutes together. And we fly with different moves, formations, we try to be dynamic. And then I organized that camp and I thought, okay, we need somebody to coach, teach, mentor these guys, And I'm the guy with all those medals. But at the end of the day, I always choose Brian as the coach, teacher, mentor. Like he's the one who is able to transfer the information to them. A good competitor doesn't necessarily have to be a good coach, and vice versa, So,
well, it doesn't always have to be, everything doesn't have to be wrapped up in one package. And certainly that's why a team is exactly that. It's a team, everybody's got different strengths and different weaknesses, and a team works to try and help accentuate the good stuff and overcome the bad stuff, for sure. And I definitely think that pushing towards education and pushing to change things is hugely positive. A number of the older skydivers that I've talked to that have come up through the years have talked about how difficult change has been in skydiving because we get so set on our ways. Skydiving is all alpha. We are all alpha, and nobody wants to be wrong, and nobody wants to be told that their way isn't the right way to do things, so change comes painfully. And then you toss in aviation, oh, fuck me. Come on, because is there a more egotistical, I'm always right bunch of people than pilots? Come on. So, yeah, you toss those together, and those are huge hurdles to overcome. So I can imagine that trying to come up with new ways to teach and new ways to think about it are very difficult, for sure. All right, so how about you guys? Competitions, how'd you guys get started in this?
Yeah, well, we start to compete, let's say, to take the sides. As a sportive, we grew up in a sportive family. More or less everybody in our family do sports, not competing, but we always use the nationals to see at the end of a season of the year at what point we are. So long short story, so until 2014 we were doing like randomly, and then in 2014 we sit on the table and we say, okay, you have a velocity, I have a velocity, what we will do? Okay, we drop down a plan, a goal in 3 years to pass from some random places somewhere ranking wise to the first top 10. Okay, we did the first competition, and so from that point we meet in Florida for the world meet, and we end up was crazy because he ended up Mario 20th and I was 21st. But in front of us, there was 19 Peregrine and Petra, and behind us was 20 Peregrines and Petra.
Wow.
So we were the normal cross brace
With Vilocomp 79.
Vilocomp 79,
Right.
which will get
Wing
already
loading 2.6.
Yeah, we were young, we were light,
Sure.
like nothing competing. And then from that point, we just to climb the cliff. Like we got a point, like some people that wanna lose weights or they wanna do training in the gym. So we put on the mirror the goal. Hey, you must be here. You must be here.
Wow.
So, and we're training hard for that. But still, the competition wasn't just competing and improve at the hour point. Was still growing in the skills.
Sure.
Like competing, as Brian said, is a very mental competition.
Very much so.
You really have to talk to yourself
Sure.
and make you in the mood.
Sure.
But there is the other face of the medal that is flying with your teammates, with your friends, and man, it's still the same drills. Like you feel your heart pumping
Sure.
when your friends is looking at you, and it's far like this between me and you, and I can see in your eyes, and you blink at me like, man,
Oh yeah.
this is like win the world.
Oh, I can't imagine that there's anything quite like it. I mean, it's got to just be a holy shit moment. I see it. I think it might be time for another refill.
We're good.
Because Hernandez is wearing half of my drink, and he's
For the hits and for the chicks, baby.
so.
Italian.
I love that you guys all seem to enjoy the same aspects of things, whether it be the flying together and learning how to do the group stuff, the instruction, and the kind of going balls wild here. I personally watched your video of you doing the barrel roll over the top of another fucking parachute, and I still think that's the craziest goddamn thing I've ever seen. I don't know where in the world that ever sat in your mind and went, yeah, this is a good idea.
You know what? There is more to come. There is more to come. Recently, we did something just as cool in Dubai. Recently.
See, this is where it's really cool to be an older version of me, because I am happy to live vicariously through some of the other shit that's going on. Because I'm sure, just like you guys, I've got a lot of non-skydiving friends and family that live vicariously through what they consider to be the crazy stuff that I do. But I know myself to be a very relaxed, very mellow, very middle-of-the-road skydiver. So it's kind of nice to be able to watch the slightly crazier versions. And then, of course, I've got the wingsuiting friends and this and that. I did have a question I wanted to ask, and you guys have seen this because you've been in it for a while now. One of my first podcasts had Cornelia Mihai and Olga Numova in. And I had asked them, because I wanted to get a woman's perspective on canopy swooping as a woman as opposed to a man, because skydiving has predominantly been a male-driven sport. Canopy piloting very much so, this testosterone-driven, my balls are this big, I'm going to do this kind of stuff. And then here comes Cornelia, who is, holy shit, absolutely amazing. And I was actually surprised when I asked her the question, how were you greeted by the male competitors? And she said, amazingly. So I have to ask, what's your guys' opinion of the fact that women are coming to kick our asses?
Man, Cornelia, she has kicked my ass so many times already that
It's great, right?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. It's insane. Like she's at the top of the game. You know, right now she's at the peak. She's at the top of the game, and then I just hope she has a little bit of luck. I hope she gets the luck on her side. One of these years, one of these world meets, world championships, just a little bit of luck, because everything else. She has done the hard work, man.
Yeah,
she works so hard. She works so hard, man.
Well, you know what the cool thing that I seem to, that my personal opinion is that skydiving is as asexual a sport as it possibly gets. Because it doesn't matter how big and strong you are. Air does not care how much you can bench press. It's all finesse. It's all that mental game. So male or female, if you've got it, you've got it. And when you've got somebody like Cornelia that's showing, holy shit, I can be just as bad as the best of them. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, man. I can see it in her eyes. You know, I'm sure she wakes up and first thing she thinks is soup, and then she goes to the drop zone and she thinks soup, and then she goes for lunch and then she's thinking, I need to soup. You know, and then goes to bed, and then the last thought she has is, "So I need to train." So you cannot beat somebody like this. You know, you cannot beat somebody that everything she has in her mind is swooping, training, competing, winning. You cannot beat somebody like this.
No,
you know?
yeah, she's definitely got that drive for sure.
Yeah,
and that's every discipline as well. That's for sure. But she's amazing. She's incredible to see. I knew her actually in Imperia Brava. We didn't work together, but I was working in Imperia and she was working in Imperia, and it's amazing to see. Yeah, like the progression and that she kicks all of our asses.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's great.
So you guys are very welcoming of the intermixing of the sport, so to speak.
We need more.
Yes,
we need more.
Yes. I try to explain it because you bring up the subject and you feel or sound sexist for even mentioning it. But the fact of the matter is, I love the integration of the sexes in the sport, and I love the fact that a lot of the women that are good friends of mine in the sport can destroy me. I love it. There's female jump pilots out there that are amazing pilots that can, just fly circles around me or skydive circles around me, and I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I don't know about you guys, but I try not to even see sex. I see skill, which is amazing.
Skill and passion for sure.
How about in Italy? Because you guys are known for your machismo. I mean, Italians are.
Italians do it better.
Yeah.
Cazzo duro, baby.
I only know a little bit. My last name is Ricci, so
exactly.
So I know a little bit about it. But so in Italy, a lot of female skydivers, or not so much?
There is a good percentage. I have to say more or less like worldwide we have the same percentage. Of course, canopy piloting almost nothing. Let's say it's 0. But I like to see that is not one gender sport.
Sure.
I remember at the first World Meet that I've been in back in the year, it was 2008, with young Pablo, there was Brian, and there was just one woman, Katshigi, and for me, she won.
Yeah.
She won, man, because the only lady with a small canopy, man, she had a weight belt that almost you cannot see her body from the chin to the knees.
Kaz was a fucking badass.
Power,
She
man.
She
still is. She's working for us, and she still is.
Fly one instructor. She was the first super I ever saw to take the chest strap off and lean forward on the soups. First super I ever saw to do that. 2005, no chest strap, leaning forward. That looked crazy, man.
Why do you think it's the canopy piloting seems to be more male dominated? Because clearly it's not a skill thing. Is it just that women are smarter than men? They are. Let's admit it. They are.
Let's pass to the next question.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
We're not talking about this anymore.
Bunch of pussies.
Let's say there is not many like Cornelia. There is only one.
She's a badass. Yeah, she's a badass.
It's hard to find more like her.
I think we do these people a disservice as well, because we have this. We tend to push these people down. When I say these people, that's a really bad way to talk about females. But in our sport, when a female comes to the drop zone, we have the experienced jumpers tend to take control, or tend to decide this is what they should or shouldn't be doing, and I think it's restricted by us rather than by them. I think in terms of the mindset, knowing my teammates and how we think and about how we approach all these problems, I don't want to say we're girls, right? But I think we think about it logically, and I think that anyone can do that regardless of sex. But what we tend to do when the girl comes up on the drop zone is, push her into small canopies if we're wanting to do that, because we've got this stupid idea that small person, small canopy. Or we go the other way and we go, oh, no, you can't do that. And you can't do that because you haven't got the strength or whatever bullshit reason that you can think of. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I think guys tend to either become the protector or the girl becomes the target. Yeah. One of the two. I mean, come on, that's the bigger drop zones. You see a new girl walk on the drop zone. And I hate to say it, but the history of the sport has been it's
terrible.
Who and when. And it shouldn't be that way. And I have seen that change dramatically over the last few years for sure, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah, it really is. Sure. So as we move forward with your guys' experience and everything, what are the lessons that you've learned along the way that you guys can pass on to those coming up? The people are thinking of getting under small canopies, wanting to swoop, what's the progression? What do they need to be thinking about? What are the lessons they need to learn? What's the shit that you've done wrong that are going to keep them from making the same mistakes?
You know what? I think that the problem with our sport is everyone says the same thing and nobody listens. And what happens is, or what happened recently, which really kind of summed it up for me, is Al Burchoid from PD Marketing. He has a great seminar about choosing the right canopy.
I know.
And, and so he's done that seminar, I don't know how many times, but all over the world as well. And that seminar, there's really good things in there which kind of sum up everything. But one of the coolest things is enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, enjoy being on that canopy that you're doing, and it's there's so many good things from that seminar. But there's no reason to do it. That's the point. Why get to a small canopy where you can't go any further? Because then the ride's over, right? So why not enjoy the fact that there is a progression and there is a way to do it and there is time and it takes reps. And the other thing that's really, really apparent to us is that we will make mistakes. Pablo said that earlier. No matter what sport you're doing, if you're starting it for the first time or you're new, and let's face it, in terms of skydiving, in terms of canopy time, most people build up 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you want to say, depending on your opening altitude of canopy time, and now times that number of times by whatever jump number you have. It's still a very, very small amount of time. And if you look at someone who's a good tennis player or a good driver or a dirt bike rider or whatever it is you're into, they've done days and days and years and years and years doing the same thing. And we just physically can't do that. So we have to enjoy the fact that it's going to take time and there's a progression.
Sure.
And I loved that from Al. He was the man for sure with that.
Yeah, I worked with him way back in 2004, 2005 in Cross Keys back in the day. Do you think, especially now, modern day being what it is, social media being what it is, Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff, I think it's more prevalent in stuff like wingsuits, but I think it still has a play in canopy stuff. I think people are watching these videos that are getting posted and thinking way too early on, oh, that looks easy. Pablo just did a barrel roll over that parachute.
It's easy, right?
That looks easy. Clearly he just did this and that, and then some fuckwit's going to go out and try it. I mean, do you think the sport itself has a responsibility to itself to try and give the right lessons? Maybe post those videos where shit didn't go right and you chowed a little bit, or back off on the bravado some, so that that kid that thinks it all looks easy doesn't get hurt.
These days I'm always telling myself, whenever you do a fuck up or you get a close call, share it. Share it. It's huge. I had an accident, XRW accident 3 years ago, where a wingsuiter flew in front of my parachute, in front of my peregrine, and the parachute completely collapsed. I went head down, risers went behind my neck, the parachute reinflated, bang, and then I got hurt, man, on my neck, And then for a few months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, I was thinking, how do I feel about this video? Do I feel ashamed and I shouldn't share it? Or should I share it and hopefully somebody else would learn the lesson, And I chose the second decision, right? Like, share the video, share it with the world, show it, and hopefully no wingsuiter will fly in front of another canopy because of the video I shared on social media, right? So,
or at least some won't. I mean, I had a chance to talk to Matt and Mike from Squirrel Suits, and one of the comments that I had made in that conversation was nobody posts the terrain flying jumps that went badly because there's no video to be had. But a lot of lessons would be learned if you weren't just seeing these amazing terrain flying videos, or the ones that look amazing that were actually someone, 6 inches from death. I think it's important to put out there for sure. So being able to post a jump like that shows, hey, this is what fucking went wrong, somebody else gets to learn quite a lot. And I'm guessing that's probably a lot of your mentality with Flight 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a real hard one because I'm sure, as you've noticed over the years, we've all been in the sport so many years that we've seen such such amazing development of the sport, you know, and I know Pablo and I, we feel old, and just in terms of our discipline, the way that people are flying now is incredible. The distances people are going are incredible. The wings that we're flying, you know, I remember taking the Peregrine out for the first time before the Valkyrie, you know, and the jump from the Velo to the Peregrine was just insane, you know, and then the Valkyrie came out, and we're like, yeah, it's pretty decent canopy, opens nice, you know, like open amazing, you know, for sure. But it's not a Peregrine, because that we hadn't gone through that progression. So the other side, you know, just to play devil's advocate, is without these people doing these crazy stuff, without Pablo going, yeah, well, you know what, I think I can barrel roll and slam my top skin into somebody else's top skin, you know, then the sport doesn't progress. And without these wingsuiters doing what they're doing, you know, I have a lot of respect for them. And I think it's kind of like the same. I watch freestyle motocross and stuff like that. What we always have to remind ourselves is, you're right, they've hit so many times, but you never see it, and they've been doing it for, you know, longer than maybe that somebody's been alive in terms of this sport. So, and that's very easy to forget. So I think as long as we're remembering that, I don't want to stop these people doing amazing things, right?
No, definitely not. I think it's actually important to highlight that they're doing them, but also highlight the failures along with the successes. Yeah, sure. But you're right. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, as they say. Right now, I can go out tomorrow, make a jump on my Velo, do a lazy 270, and do a swoop that would in 2004 have probably won me the world championship. Holy shit. You know, that's fucking incredible, because I am a fair weather weekend skydiver. You know, I don't go out to try and do anything badass. No one is ever going to come cheer me on to do anything like that. I don't even go near the water because I know I'm going to go swimming. But to be able to go out and very comfortably do something that really in a very recent past would have been considered world championship level is insane. It's amazing, and it's a testament not only to the technology that's going into it with companies like PD and props to Icarus and all these different companies that are doing these things, but the abilities of the canopy pilots and those teaching them, which is amazing. Now, I know you guys all four just did a camp recently specifically to do, is it formation flying you guys were training?
So we had two goals on that camp we did in Dubai. One of the goals was to pass the information, pass the know-how, the basics, and give the structure to this new generation, Mario and Armando, to know how to fly together, you know, informations. We call it team flying. But we have done it for so many years that all the static formations, they are boring to us now.
Boring? They look good, man.
They are boring. Yeah. They look good. They are good for pictures, you know, but we want it to be dynamic, man. Movement, aggression, you know, action. So and we wanted to keep it alive, because the truth is that it takes hard work to be a badass. Sure. You know? And by hard work, I mean preparation, you know, communications, emails, coordination. Like, can you guys get on these dates together? Like, it takes time to get together, you know, it takes hard work to get together, and a lot of emails and a lot of calls and communication. So,
well, I can understand your draw for wanting to something to be a little bit more dynamic. We live in an age where tunnel flying is now really trying to pretty much take center stage as far as air sports go. And there's really only two air sports in our arena that are spectator friendly, and that's canopy swooping and tunnel flying. And tunnel flying is so fucking dynamic and so holy shit what's going on, that to compete just on an attraction level to the average WUFO, you got to be pretty damn dynamic. They don't want to just see four canopies flying together. They want to see all this craziness. And I also have said it before, and I'll say it again, when it comes to swoop competitions or a day at the pond, it's a lot like NASCAR. You know, go to watch cars go around in a circle. Every once in a while, you want to see one hit the wall. It's true. Totally. You know, luckily the wall is made out of water.
So that was one of the goals of that week, to pass the information to the new generation, Mario and Armando. And then our second goal was to, man, there is a new piece of equipment out there in the market.
Tell me.
It's called the Mutant. The Mutant.
Is this the harness that has you sitting in a almost like a paraglider position?
Exactly. It's a harness. It's a container from UPT that allows you to have a supine position, like on the paragliding sport, in the paragliding world. Yeah. So you are sitting on the harness, but you can lean back. The risers are connected to your hips. And it's great for a very specific event, which is the speed event. For us in competition, there is distance, speed, and accuracy. And for speed, this piece of equipment, Mutant, it makes the difference. It makes you go faster.
Is it the aerodynamics of it because you're less surface area as you're on the swoop, or what is it?
You got it, man. You lean back, and the only thing you are exposing to the relative wind is your feet.
Okay, so why lean back as opposed to lean forward? My initial reaction to that is I broke my fucking tailbone. So ass first terrifies me. I'd almost rather Superman slide across the grass. So do you know why they chose that? Because for a very, very long time now in canopy piloting, it's been leaning forward. It's been that 8-foot-long chest strap, and your knees are practically below your chin's practically below your knees. So why back?
Okay, but the goal was the same. The goal of leaning forward was to reduce drag. But now with this system, you can lean back comfortably. You only expose your feet to the relative wind, so there is no surface. And then just by using the weight shift forward or backwards, just by leaning backwards on that Mutant system, the parachute recovers by itself naturally.
Jesus God.
So you don't have to use and abuse the rear risers, Now, with that being said, it's a system for very experienced jumpers. It's a system only either for very experienced paragliding pilots or for very experienced canopy pilots, competitors. With that being said, I'm not using that system. We are not using that system for free flying, for free falling.
Sure.
Like we keep using our javelins for that kind of skydiving, for free falling, for free flying. We love our javelins for that. We love it. So comfortable and safe.
Sure.
But for speed.
Well, now, but you guys are flying canopies that aren't even designed for terminal velocity openings, correct?
Yeah, the Peregrine is definitely was kind of geared towards that, but that's mainly to do with the lines, the thickness of the lines rather than the wing itself. But yeah, there are those canopies. The other thing I'd like to add with the Mutant is the roll axis. The other thing that changes the speed that we can get is if you imagine the stuff that you've probably seen in swoop comps where the guy's leaning forward. We can't do that in the turn. I mean, actually, some of the guys have been trying that earlier and earlier, definitely in the recovery arc to adopt that position. But in the turn, we can't do that. And what the Mutant harness gives us is such sensitivity in the roll axis, the side to side, the bank angle, that when you start this thing turning, dude, this thing just drops because you're almost in a stand up in the rotation.
Wow.
So you can imagine the nose of the wing going in front of you, and you're like feet to earth.
Thank you, Vince Refed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vince, for your design, your invention, your pioneering with that kind of engineering. Like he's the one who invented the system. UPT, they are the ones who engineer the real final product, and we are the ones who are taking advantage of it.
Well, so it sounds to me like the Mutant almost taking the risers and the toggles almost out of the equation to some degree, and it's literally becoming just leaning and almost flying your body, and the wing is doing what your body wants to do. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I remember the first time I flew a canopy that was small enough that when I leaned in the harness, the thing turned, and I went, oh my God, that's so fucking cool. I leaned and it turned. So this is like next level times 10, that every small little movement you're doing almost without input from risers and toggles.
Toggles, brakes, they break. Wow. And rears, they slow down too, But
sure. Everything increases drag.
Anything you can do with your weight, instead of using controls, it will maintain speed. So,
did you guys ever think?
It's an experience for sure. I mean, we're not experienced using this harness for sure, and we have a training program developed. Ian Bobo develops a training program specifically for the harness. So when you buy the harness through UPT, it goes through to an ambassador for the harness, and they take you through a training course, very intense training course. So we had the privilege of going through the course with Pablo, and it kind of allowed us to really kind of put ourselves back into the student side. I don't know what you guys think, my European friends here, but totally like we're back at student status.
Which is, there's nothing better than learning again, right? So for you guys came in as the velocity was coming into play, and the velocity for me is still in my memory is still like the seminal event in canopies. I still fly velocity to this day. I don't ever see myself flying anything different. If for no other reason, for currency, and again, no one's ever going to be impressed with my swoops, so I'm not going to push it to that level. It's plenty fun flying a velocity, but for you guys, you came into it where it was already at such a high level. Where do you guys see this going from here? I mean, holy shit.
Well, I have to say that I love, and I still have a velocity with me, and I still love to jump with it because is my first love. So like seriously, like it was the first canopy developed by skydivers, with engineers, with calculation, the frame, the air pressure inside, outside. So, and what is still my love, and I'm proud to say, I use it.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and man, we are in as we start, we are in such a wave that where the sport was developing. I clearly see this wave come again. So now we are not talking anymore just at the canopies, not anymore just at the line. We talk about even the harness and the way to fly, the way to teach. So this sport is fun as fuck because it never stops.
No, and I don't think it ever will.
You can never say, okay, we have done. There is nothing more to do. No, man. Day by day, year by year, there is always something to learn, always something to develop.
Yeah, the progression keeps coming, and as the technology gets more and more people with that type of knowledge are attracted to the sport. I'm continuously blown away by the level of ingenuity and intelligence and design that has come into skydiving. Because when I came into skydiving, it felt like it was a bunch of people that were like me, just trying to avoid responsibility. So we went and fell out of airplanes and some smart guy designed stuff. But now on a daily basis, you're jumping with these guys and they're coming out of the woodwork and they're hands-on and just designing these amazing things. And it's super cool too to see sitting in here 2 different generations doing the same thing and the passing of the torch, so to speak, but not passing the torch and walking away, but passing the torch of knowledge and continuing with them. And I don't think there's too many sports that do that, which is the coolest thing. I mean, fuck, I turned 50 this year and I still feel like a kid because I get to come play with a bunch of kids. No, I don't see age in skydiving. I don't, that's an old guy. This is young. Well, unless you see somebody in a big old brand X suit with the frat hat, maybe, but but you know what I mean. I mean, it seems to be an ageless sport that I think is going to continue that way, which is fucking awesome. I applaud you guys for coming together as a team, multi-generationally and continuing to push the limits with one of the most successful teams in the sport. That's super awesome. So as we wrap things up, I want to know, how does everybody follow you guys? Where are they going to go to find out about PD Team? How do they find out about Flight 1? How do they find out about you guys individually if they want to follow you as athletes? So one at a time, please tell me. Let's go Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to share.
So as a team, we are on the different social platforms, definitely. So we have a website, pdfactoryteam.com. We have a Facebook page, pdfactoryteam.com, Instagram. And then we have a Flight 1 website, which is our training educational website where we present our courses and curriculum, syllabus, our educational products. So that's where you can find us.
Awesome. Anybody got a personal athletes page they want followed?
Everybody of the team has the personal Facebook page and even Instagram. And you can find us by person all around the world. Like, you can meet me in Skydive Spain in Sevilla, more or less all year long, as long as I don't train and compete with my brotherhoods.
Awesome. Well, and I will make sure as the episode comes out, all you guys are going to be listed with any contact info that you want in regard to websites and all that fun stuff, so they'll know how to get to you. Any parting words? Anything? Any more knowledge to pass on? Any last things you want people to know?
Enjoy every day, man. Keep charging.
That's it.
One day at a time, one step at a time.
Get out there and jump, huh?
Yes, skydive, man. Skydive, baby.
All right. Once again, folks, a bunch of gentlemen sitting in here. I've had 4 of the PD Factory team crammed into a very small toilet, getting drunk off of rum and Coke and shooting the shit with me. Absolutely amazing. Gentlemen, it's been a privilege and an honor to have you here. I hope to follow all of your antics for quite some time to come. I want to see the new fancy shit that's coming out. So, gentlemen, again, thank you. Cheers and blue skies.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yo, mom.
All right.
Oh yeah, get you on the flip side, still you'll always remain. Death's a transition, just part of the game. Oh, get you on the flip side, my cherished companions, the bond of a brother, we'll never abandon. One-sided approach, the gate's locked up tight. Just some guy with a license, yet a damn genius in flight. A decade of friendship through red rock and sky. Love and light, the adventure, world travel, miles high. Oh, catch you on the flip side, still you'll always remain. Death's a transition, just part of the game. Oh, catch you on the flip side, my cherished companions, the bond of a brother, we'll never abandon. A city of boulders, farm boy gone big time. Trails of camel smoke roll down the back nine. Always sharp with retort, quick wit stinging fools. Pushing buttons a hobby, misbehavior the ruler. Whoa, catch you on the flip side, still you'll always remain. Death's a transition, just part of the game. Catch you on the flip side, my cherished companions, the bond of a brother, we'll never abandon. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Double wide or the office, a foot in both worlds. Profession a mask, true intentions all swirl. Riding the beacon, set great balls on fire. Cementing perception, laugh, riot, inspire. Oh, catch you on the flip side, still you'll always remain. Death's a transition, just part of the game. Oh, catch you on the flip side, my cherished companions, the bond of a brother, we'll never abandon. A boulevard pirate, hard rock on belay. A vagabond spirit, altered states on display. South Park and Sublime, Paris bent, state line high. Bomb shelter shots heighten the desire to fly. Friends drift apart, move ahead, leave the game. But true brothers always will forever remain. Shine on crazy diamonds till we meet up again. Blue skies where I'll find you, mentors, cohorts, and friends. Catch you on the flip side, still you'll always remain. Death's a transition, just part of the game. Whoa. Catch you on the flip side, my cherished companion, the bond of a brother, we'll never abandon. Catch you on the flip side. Catch you on the flip side.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.